Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. Kieran McKenna's side are back on the road for the second time this week, backed by more than 2,500 of the travelling Blue Army at the Hawthorns, with a huge chance to tighten their grip on that final automatic promotion spot as we head into the final straight. Coming up between now and kickoff, we'll bring you highlights from that brilliant midweek win at Charlton, reaction to David Wright's appointment as Town Women's new permanent manager, and a fan favourite on this day rewind from the League One promotion chase. We'll give you a clue. You probably had that Hurst goal on repeat after that away day. And as always, we want to hear from you. Wherever you're watching, send us your thoughts and predictions in the live chat for a chance to be featured on the show. Yes, welcome to Matchday Live here at Portman Road. The sun is shining. It is a lovely day for a game of football. I'm delighted to say, joining us today, we have Carlos Edwards and James Scowcroft. Carlos, you were just saying, as we were talking off air, how good the pitch looks today at Portman Road. Obviously, we haven't got a home game till the last game of the season, but it is a beautiful day for a game of football.
Oh, it's a beautiful day for everything, you know, but much so as a football fan, what better way to leave your house to go watch a game of football?
Scoey, there is a lot on the line in the Championship. As a fan now, obviously you're still heavily involved in football, but how different is it to enjoying these run-ins as a pundit, as a fan, rather than a player?
Yeah, it's exciting. You haven't got the pressure. Obviously, there's pressure when you play. You know, you've got the physical and the mental pressure, especially this time of year. You know, it's a long, long season. But like Carlos says, you know, it's that end of season feel to it now, doesn't it? The sun's out. Conditions are perfect as well. So, you know, but deep down, you know, what a great opportunity for these Ipswich lads today, you know, playing today. You know, both of us would swap that.
I was going to say, on the flip side, Carlos, what are these run-ins like when there's so much to play for? Some teams will have one eye on their holiday bookings, flip-flops on, but the Town, it's very much still all to play for.
Yeah, it's a lot, everything to play for. But on the flip side of that also is when we do get promoted, your holidays will even be 10 times better because, you know, you're looking to the next season playing in the top tier and stuff like that. But, you know, you just want to just relish the opportunity now to play. You know, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the weather, just go and enjoy it. We
were working out, myself and Dan, we're trying to do the mathematics about what we need, what if Southampton play on Tuesday night as well, they've got a game today. With that result as well last night with Millwall, it is very much looking very promising for Town, needing just 4 points from the 3 games.
No, that's a great position. You would have taken this at the start of the season. So today's big. You know, I think 4 points from 2 games gets a bit, but from 3 games it's doable. So we get 3 points today, then, you know, it's well and truly sort of right on the edge of where we want to be.
And the players would have had one eye on the game last night. Surely if they're in the hotel up in the Midlands somewhere, they would be aware of what was going on. They may not have watched it, but they definitely will know the outcome and what is at stake today. Yeah, of course. You always keep a keen eye on your close rivals, who's really close to you in the table. And for that result to go our way, you know, we now have to step up and do the business today. Well, victory at the Valley on Wednesday night put Town back into the second place in the Championship just for a brief moment, but it was a fantastic away day. Here's all the highlights from our midweek victory.
Fresh off the back of Sunday's rollercoaster of emotions, which saw Ipswich secure a late draw against Middlesbrough, the Blues are back in action tonight as they travel to the Valley to face Charlton Athletic. Red shirts, white shorts and red socks tonight. Ipswich in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, and it's given away by Johnson, and it's Campbell into the penalty area. Early chance for the host. It's a cross goal, saved by Walton, deflected, but deflected into the back of the net. Gesturing to Furlong that maybe McAteer was the option. Mehmeti drops into a pocket, has McAteer ahead of him. McAteer making a move in field. Adon giving it back to Mehmeti right side. Mehmeti with the opportunity to deliver. Furlong trying to create an angle. Furlong across goal and put wide by even Adon. It was lovely football from Ipswich. Adon dropping deep. He's probably had Town's best chance so far. Just skewing a bit of a miss kick wide. Philogene carrying the ball forward, and now Matasiwa 25 yards out. Furlong just outside the penalty area, lines one up and finds the bottom corner. Ipswich back level. Matasiwa. Here is Mehmeti. Mehmeti sliding it forward towards Furlong. Furlong clear penalty. Now here at the Valley, with the chance to send those travelling supporters wild, and he slides it underneath Kaminski and does give Ipswich the lead. Taylor's making a move into space in midfield, and Furlong does well to spot it. And now Taylor driving through midfield, has Philogene outside him. Philogene just outside the penalty area. This is the situation he loves, and Kaminski makes the save, only out to Mehmeti. Mehmeti fires it goalwards. Neil just inside the Charlton half. Clark. Greaves is going to overlap him here. Clark is carrying the ball forward. Greaves into the penalty area, trying to deliver across goal, and Nunes might reach it and can't quite stab it home. Launches it down the line, and the final whistle blows, and it's a huge result for Ipswich Town in South East London.
A huge result indeed for Ipswich Town away at Charlton Athletic. It wouldn't be a championship game without the emotions going up and down. But Carlos, after 44 seconds, I think every Town fan's heart was in its mouth to go behind so early on.
I think I just switched the telly on and I saw the score. But at the same time, you know, as an experienced player, he should know better. You know, early doors, you know, you want to turn. Yes, we do want to play, but at the same time, it's a suicide ball, that ball across, you know, hoping that it get to someone. But you know, we roll our sleeves up and, you know, we got the result in the end.
Scully, there is no good time to concede a goal, but in terms of the game plan and the structure, because nothing has happened in the match yet, does it change the way Kieran would have carried on his plan to go and defeat Charlton?
No, not at all, really. I think, like you say, that there is no good time, but it does give you 89 minutes left in the game to, you know, to calm down. It's not you've conceded in the 75th minute and you do have to change, which I think we did very well. I don't think we panicked. You do make mistakes in football, you know, everybody does. So it's how you react. The reaction was very, very good. I think the players were calm, and I think the game management was very good.
Yeah, Kieran McKenna mentioned about there was a calmness and a belief in this Ipswich Town side, and I think Cole Scouse said it brilliantly on comms. We looked braver in the attacking final thirds. We always looked like, when I was certainly watching it, that when we were going through that championship season for promotion, we always looked like we had an attacking purpose. Did you see that as well, Carlos, in the way we were taking the game to Charlton?
Yeah, you could actually see the boys and they were on the front foot at any given occasion. You know, you look at Philogene, you know, he looks a breath of fresh air from the game at home. And when he went on, obviously we played on Wednesday night, sorry. But you just get that belief in them now that regardless if we concede first, we're going to create chances and we're going to get goals. But it's not always the case. You don't want to concede, you know, because you don't want to be on the back foot at every given occasion.
And in that moment, when you do go behind so early on, you do look to your leaders, and Darragh O'Shea has been phenomenal all season. As players who have maybe experienced that, is there much communication on the pitch between yourselves about, come on lads, we need to sharpen up here, we need to kick on?
Yeah, there will be. You know, it's a group that's been together now. It's, you know, what are we now in game 44 today, 43. It's a long season, you know each other, you know, you'd have had many setbacks, and so it's just a belief really in each other, and if just stick together. I think the big thing, like we said earlier, you know, so much time left in the game, there is no need to panic, you know, even at that. It's just, what you have to do is just make sure you don't make another mistake, because 2-0, then it does change it. But, you know, you can see with the play, the build-up, it was all, you know, some really good attacking, controlled football.
One stat that took me by surprise was that was Town's first comeback victory away on the road. So after going behind we've come back and won the game. I know playing in the Championship away from home is quite difficult at times, and it does take a lot out of the players. But I mean, if you're going to get that stat, it's best to do it towards the back end of the season than at the start. But that was something that took me by surprise, Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, it took me by surprise also. In that way, as you put
That's
it.
saying something.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's one of those situations where, yeah, records, you end up breaking records and getting the good side of being on the negative side. But you just go out there to make sure that you don't go out there to concede first, to see what your teammates have made of. You go out there to try and win the game, maybe keep a clean sheet. I saw Walton maybe was kicking himself, or the defenders kicking themselves because they conceded another goal where we could have done better. But at the same time, we came back and we got the 2 goals and created a lot more where we could have scored more.
Yeah, we definitely came back and took all 3 points and scored the right goals. So let's have another look at those highlights from the game quickly, just to go through the goals aspect. I think we're going to look at the Town goals here. This was a brilliant move from front to back, Scully. What is it about Philogene and Azor and this moment here? And I think Darnell Furlong scoring his first goal. He's had a brilliant season, but the move itself was really impressive, I thought.
Well, it's good. I think when Jayden plays for us, he attracts different players around him. So if he can sort of draw players in and then you switch, then you have the overload on the other side, which we've done very well. And this is what leads to the goal. And it's a wonderful strike. Yeah. You know, just hits it clean, keeper no chance through the defender's legs. And he deserves that. Like I say, I think he's had a very consistent season.
Carlos, is that what they call a daisy cutter in football?
Yeah.
Football times, it just sort of cuts across the surface.
It's one of those where defenders, keepers, anything maybe higher up, he might have a better chance of saving it. But that ball across the surface is very hard for him to get down to get that.
I think the goalkeeper here had every chance of saving that. When you're watching it now, I'm still not quite sure whether it's going to go in or not. But we all know how calm and cool Jayden Philogene is in these moments. And this is a massive, massive goal. And Scully, as a striker, you're probably asking him to take the next one just to make sure.
Yeah,
I think we're all a bit nervous. But again, a fantastic goal to score in this moment.
Yeah, every goal's a good goal to score. But he you know, it sums him up. He's laid back. He's got that personality on the pitch, hasn't he? Where he's cool, he's calm, and he almost, if he'd have hit it better, the keeper would have saved it.
Yeah.
I think that's the. But you make your own luck.
Azor Matasiwa is a player that we've spoken about quite a lot this season. He's quite calmly gone about his business. You know, he picked up a lot of yellow cards early doors, but he's gone on a massive run now of not getting another yellow card. I think it's over 20 games. Glenn Wheeler was saying that before the show. Nominated for PFA Player of the Month for March. Just how impressive has he been for you, Carlos, throughout this whole season?
He's a Morsey 2.0, mate. I'm not even joking. But honestly, he is a breath of fresh air when you see him play. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere, as they say it. But honestly, he's like the engine of the team. He gets them going, and he breaks things up. He plays a simple pass. He gets on the ball. He's not scared to get on the ball. He's not scared to hold defenders or midfielders off. And that's what you need. You need that. And he's had that consistent performance from the beginning of the season up till now. And I don't see why he shouldn't get Player of the Month, because he has been consistent.
I think we all thought when he came in that he was a bit of an unknown player, and we already had Jens come in as well, who everyone absolutely adores and loves, and had seen what he could do on a football pitch. But I think it just goes to show Azor's commitment and what he brings to this team, because he's arguably one of the first team players on the team sheet. Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of rotation this year, but he's probably the one player that we miss the most if he doesn't play. I think he brings that. Like I say, Carlos mentioned it. Sam Morsey was a very difficult player to replace, but he's replaced him very well. He's a player I know very well. I've watched him for numerous years playing in France, so it was interesting to see how he would cope with the sort of coming over to English football. But he's got better and better as the season's got on.
Well, it was a brilliant midweek result for Town's men's team, but also the women's team beat Sheffield United 4-1. And after that game, the announcement was made that David Wright will be Town Women's permanent manager, which is absolutely fantastic. We can now hear from him and hear what he's had to say.
David, you've just been appointed permanent manager of Ipswich Town Women. How's that sound? Yeah, really pleased, really excited. Obviously it's a great opportunity for myself. Obviously I've been doing the job for the past couple of months, and obviously working with the team, working with the players. I've really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed working with the staff. Obviously it was a big change for the staff. Joe's been here a long time and done a great job. For them to be so open and welcome me in like they have done has been great, and the girls themselves as well. Obviously a lot of them got a long-term relationship with Joe, and for them to be so open to new ideas and change, it's just made my life so much easier. When with that made the job really good coming into it.
Yeah, and in terms of progress, we've obviously already seen quite a lot so far, but how much more progress would you like to make as manager of the women's team here?
Yeah, we want to move this forward. Obviously the club's really ambitious. They want the women's team, playing WSL1. That's the end game. Now that's going to take time. Obviously it's going to take time, but we have the support from, like I say, Mark, Luke and Dimitri and the owners as well. We know where we want to go, and we're putting many structures in place, like behind the scenes, to enable us to get there.
And just finally, I'm sure you want to finish the season off high. Obviously we've got a trip to Birmingham and then a home game against Sunderland. Yeah.
That's obviously a great win against Sheffield United. Obviously we reflect on all the good stuff, and then as it is, you end up parking it quite quickly and eyes straight on Birmingham, which is going to be a really tough game. They're top of the league for a reason. But it's the type of game where, we're very respectful of the opponent and who we're coming up against, but never fearful. The girls are in a great place, and we should be going into that game full of confidence.
Town women's team travel to Birmingham tomorrow. They are top of the table, so that's going to be a very tough afternoon indeed. But mathematically, it's still not 100% safe, but you would probably be quite confident that Town are going to stay up this season. Carlos, you played with David. How happy are you for him and the work that he's done with the women's team?
Yeah, obviously I know he was always good teammate, very experienced, very humble. When I saw him got the interim job at the time, I was thinking, good on him. And now to be permanently appointed, it's, he can actually kickstart and do the things that he would like to do. I know he was always passionate about getting into the coaching, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to, to fulfill what he really wants to do going forward.
And it was a tough time to come in as Town women's manager. They'd been on a lot of losing games. It was looking bleak. Obviously, Joe Sheehan did a fantastic job with the team, but they obviously needed a change, and he's come in and sort of stabilised everything, brought in some new players, probably some fresh ideas, and it's shown in the results of late, hasn't it, of just the work that he's done. Yeah,
he's done very well. I think that, the step up into a new league was a big jump. But we both know right as well, he knows the club very well, don't he? He's quite an experienced coach. He's had many coaching roles as well. So it just seems a really good fit for everyone. Yeah, how important is it to have someone who knows the ethos of the football club, played so many games for this wonderful football club, that he can now translate to the girls, those that are coming in as new players, what it means to play for Ipswich Town women's team?
It would be a great feeling for him, because as we rightly know, being from Suffolk and then around playing for the club and knowing the ins and outs of it, it's always going to be better to integrate those values of Town into the women. And I think with the experience of the captain and the other girls who've been there and who the new ones are coming in, it's only going to get better by the instilling what it's all about to play for the Town. Yeah, it was a fantastic result against Sheffield United, a huge 3 points for the girls to go and win. And Maria Boswell, I don't know if you've seen the strike, she won't hit them much better than that. We just got the highlights playing in the background now. But it's great that the club is fully behind the women's team. And we all knew at the start of the season that heading into the WSL2 for the first time was going to be a huge challenge. But you feel like now that they've found their feet in the division, and hopefully we won't be looking at next season as just trying to survive the division. It'll be to thrive in it and kick on and see we can go, Scully. Yeah, definitely. It's such a fast-growing
sport. The women's team here with the men's team in the last few years has grown and grown and grown, and they've had some great memories from it now. But they're now at a level where it's very, very, very competitive. So it's really important that we have stayed up. It's really important next season that we consolidate and start to push up the league. And we're playing against teams now with big budgets. Other pro clubs who want to win. So you need good players.
We've definitely got plenty of good players there. We just saw Maria Boswell strike Carlos. You were looking at that and a little smile on your face as well. There are moments like that are brilliant for the girls as well, considering how tough the season was at the start. And you don't want to be in a changing room that's losing every week. And you feel like the culture that David's probably brought into this now is that everyone is singing from the same hymn street and they're just loving playing football.
But that's the positive thing. You want to go out and enjoy your game of football. I mean, it's hard to, every week you get in B. But at the same time, the girls are going to take so much from this season going into next season, because this is a stepping stone for them. This is where the benchmark is now. The only way is up. And I think this season is going to make sure that they get better.
And it'll be really attractive to players who may be coming from the WSL. If we bring in a few new players, you can see the training ground. You come here to Portman Road and the money that's behind it as well. And we've seen players go on and have international careers. Tasha Thomas is now doing really well. So just for personal development as well, it feels like Ipswich Town women's team is in a really good and healthy spot.
Well, it's exactly the same as the men's team. The men's team is it's a great club to come. It's a great area to settle as well. The training ground, everything is what you want as a player, and it's exactly the same now for the women's team. If you're a younger player looking to go high, this is a great stepping stone and a club to come to, and vice versa. So the pull and the attraction to sign players will be very strong here.
Yeah, absolutely. And good luck to Town women's team, who've got 2 games remaining. That is Birmingham away and Sunderland at home. Now, Town fans will remember this day, none more so than Jess, who produces the show. It was her second day on the job working for Ipswich Town. We travelled to Barnsley in 2023 and came home with all 3 points, 3 goals, and a day that every fan will remember.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Oakwell. An in-swinger from the orange boot of Leif Davis, and it's turned in! It's turned in! It's Nathan Broadhead! It's snuck into the near post beyond Harry Eisted. And 5,000 members of the Blue Army are bouncing around. There was quite a delay. No one knew quite what had happened. But Nathan Broadhead ran away in celebration as Herbie Kane looks long for Norwood. Burgess and Davis does manage to clear away. Appeals of handball from the home supporters. Hurst has managed to hold off Anderson, and Hurst is driving through. Dangerous for Ipswich. Connor Chaplin up with him. It's Hurst! It's 2! It's 2 for Ipswich Town! George Hurst! Well, he fluffed his lines earlier, but he didn't that time. A wonderful solo goal from George Hurst, who got the beating of Mads Anderson. And he went on and on and on. Harry Eisted. The whistle blows. It's saved by Eisted. Harry Clark looking for Burns. Burns can't bring it under it. Is a chance for Hurst. Couldn't get away from Eisted. Chaplin. 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 It's Connor Chaplin firing Ipswich towards the championship. The Town supporters behind that goal have got the opportunity to celebrate with their players. And it's the former Barnsley man, Connor Chaplin, returning to Oakwell. Plays it to Ladapo. That's it. The Blues are on the brink. They have beaten Barnsley by 3-0 at Oakwell.
Incredible scenes in that away end. It gives you sort of goosebumps when you watch moments like that. That was the beginning of the journey from League One to eventually hitting the Premier League. Carlos, do you feel like that's the kind of journey that we're still on now? Obviously, we had that disappointment season in the Premier League, but it just feels like that is what's happening again with the way this season's finishing.
I mean, if you look at it in that perspective, but at the same time, I think it's where this club needs to be in the Premier League. And I think being there last season, it's only capping that we actually, make that step up again. And, looking at the highlights now with the fans, you know for a fact, the Suffolk fans, Ipswich fans, they're nutters, but at the same time, they're loyal.
Your words, not mine.
They're loyal and passionate, and they will travel wherever the club is playing. So, fair play to the fans.
Yeah, those faces that we had on the pitch there, Broadhead, Hurst, Chaplin getting the goals. Obviously, Hurst is still here. Connor's out on loan, and Nathan's gone on to Pastors New. But they're the faces for me that are synonymous with that championship season as well. But we're doing it this season with some new faces, but the emotion is still there for everyone, and those players will feel that from those fans as well.
Yeah, they're great times, isn't it, at the football club? Those names will live on for a long time. I think at that time there, it was exactly what the football club needed. It needed a boost and a promotion and a feel-good factor about it, and they were the lads that did it. I remember it doesn't seem that long ago, but they've had some great memories at the football club. So, and hopefully the next week will bring some more.
No one will ever say that back-to-back promotions is a bad idea or a bad thing to happen to any football club. Obviously, a lot had to change, not just on the pitch, but with the structure of the football club when we went into the Premier League. Obviously, it was a very difficult season as expected, but how much growth can the team take from that disappointment of relegation? And if we do reach the promised land again, how much experience and how much more readiness we will be for top-flight football?
I think we're ready now, and it's only going to get better because with the infrastructure up at the training ground, the stadium, you get this win factor all around. You even walk through the town centre now, and it's before school you walk through the town centre, you're seeing kids in Man City, Arsenal tops, Tottenham tops. But when you go through the town centre now, you're just seeing Ipswich Town, and that is a reflection on the players and the club by doing their part to make sure that this club is up where it's supposed to be. So,
and the identity of the football club has stayed the same throughout. I guess that's the big thing as well. When you come from League One and then you reach the Championship, which we all know is a competitive division on and off the pitch, then when you reach the Premier League, but you feel the ethos of the football club has just changed and adapted and grown with the promotions.
Yeah, I think it was a football club that probably stood still for a little bit, but now it isn't standing still. It's a game full of highs and lows, and there are lows. You can't get away from that, but I think what you have to do, you have to sort of face that adversity and just keep going really and try and grow and learn from it as well. So, it's interesting. It'll be a real interesting sort of next 6 months really for this football club. Hopefully we get over the line. I'm not speaking too soon, and then we go into next year knowing what the Premier League is like now. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah. A lot of those new faces that have come in at the start of the season have got ties to the team we're playing today. Connor Townsend, Alex Palmer, Cedric Kipre. What is it going to be like for those guys going back into their old workplace with a potential Premier League promotion looming?
If you've got friends there, make sure you speak to them after the game, or you be friendly once you get the 3 points. But these guys were good servants for their clubs, and regardless, we can't tell the fans how to react towards them. But they have to be professional enough to, roll their sleeves up. They're in the blue, or we were playing in red today, but still we got the town badge on, and that all that matters. Forget all the outside noise, because you concentrate what other people has to say. It takes away from your game. So I will just say to the boys, just go and enjoy it.
Absolutely, I'm sure they will enjoy it, just like the Town fans did here in the reverse fixture back in October, where Jack Clark's goal was the difference between the two sides as Town secured all 3 points.
He's staying down, Town continuing with possession. It's into the feet of Hurst. Lovely ball with the outside of the boot out wide to Jayden Philogene. Cuts inside from the left, shoots with the right, and a fine one-handed save by Josh Griffiths. Diving to his left to get a strong enough power on it to keep out the effort of Jayden Philogene. Tip behind for a corner. Neatly worked out into the space on the far side of the field. Jack Taylor comes forward, then gives it to Jaden Philogene on the left flank, hugging that left touch line, cuts inside. Lovely ball looking for Sammy Smodics. It's far more attacking position, and they are reaping the rewards of it, West Bromwich Albion. That's a lovely touch going through the centre, though, by Jack Taylor. Takes one out of the equation. Can go left or right, gets to the edge of the box and shoots himself and drags it wide of the target. It was all created. There's space on the far side of the field if they want to try and spread it. Leif Davis has come forward. He chests it down, looking for Taylor. Taylor gives it out wide to Jaden Philogene. Looks to cut inside from the top left-hand corner of the box. Has to go down to that left sideline instead. Pulls it back to the edge of the area for Taylor. His shot is scuppered. It's going to fall instead on the edge of the area to Ali Egley, who got the shot off, but again, closed down very quickly, deflected behind for a corner. As Taylor crosses the halfway line, slowly and tentatively, giving it out to Leif Davis. Back again to Taylor as they continue to nudge their way forward to the edge of the 18-yard box. What a ball by Taylor! Very tightly and congestedly. Taylor, top of the box, left side. Not facing the right way, though. Rolls it back out to Jaden Philogene. He sends it in! And the strike from Ali Egley.
I think there'll be 5 more minutes and then it will be more changes from Kieran.
Run inside from Jaden Philogene. Opens up the space for Leif Davis on the left. Wonderful control with his chest as well. Down towards the byline. Sends one to the far post. Ali Egley again! He tries to strike it first time when he had time to maybe take a touch. Once again, West Bromwich Albion look to play out from the back. It's clumsy. Cajuste comes away with it on the edge of the area. Opportunity, fine save. Clark with the follow-up, and that is the opener. It's just been starting to come, and Jack Clark pounces. No messing around from the centre-back, and suddenly there's a chance on the counter-attack here. Wally Egley bursting across the halfway line. Can go right or left. No one's really closing him down. Feeds it into Nunez. Nunez back into a Thorn. Touches it wide of the target. And West Brom will start with possession at the beginning of the last minute of the 90 as it's given away. Nunez finds Clark. Clark into the 18-yard box, looks to square it to Wally Egley. Keeper dives on it, doesn't get it. Still not cleared as Clark then tries to lay it off to Nunez, who can't take the opportunity. The town persuasion is too bothered by it, 'cause it's going to be the last kick of the game. It's sent into the sky and hopes are suddenly sky high.
The most chaotic final 10 minutes of a football match, I think you'll see. I think that sums up the Championship quite perfectly. Looking ahead to today's game, another lunchtime kickoff for the Blues. Now, 48 hours ago, we probably would have looked at it and go, West Brom are safe, they've got nothing to play for really, it could be a good time to play. Then they get this points deduction, which seems to be out of nowhere, but they may have known it was coming, which now sort of drags them into it a little bit. Yeah. It still would be a very big arse to get relegated with the goal difference they've got ahead of Oxford, but does that add a little bit of extra bite to this West Brom team?
I think so. I think it will spur them on. They'll be disappointed with that, really. I think they've had a good run because they looked right in a relegation fight, you know, maybe a month ago or so, and they've got themselves out of it. And, you know, fair play to the manager who's came in and stepped in. I think he's done a really, really good job. So I think it will give them, every club will want to finish the season on a high as well, especially with, as they've been getting, they want to have that momentum as well. But I think that just that little kind of, I think will spur the fans on as well, really.
On the flip side of that, Carlos, I know footballers take one game at a time, they don't look ahead, they don't get too excited, but where West Brom will take something from that disappointment of deduction, will Town players take anything from the result last night as extra motivation? They don't need any more because they know what's at stake. But I'm just trying to think, do players look for those little moments to get that extra couple of percentage? Look, big opportunity. We know 4 points now is enough to get us over the line. If we can get 3 today, then we're in a really, really strong position.
Yeah, I think a lot of players have that one eye on results before. And, you know, a lot of players don't really think into it too much because at the end of the day, we still need to go out and do the business. And but you don't really want to dwell too much on it because at the end of the day, yes, as much as they played, excuse me, as much as they played more games than us, we still have to play those games. And those points are not guaranteed. You have to go out and perform and hope that we get the 3 points, that's all.
Yeah, that's a really good point Carlos makes. Obviously, the points need to be on the board. As fans, we can all look at the games and go, yeah, we should win that one, we should win that one. But what do you think will be Kieran's key messages in the changing room ahead of today's game? Probably
like it has been for the last 43 games. Yeah. It's well in our hands, but if we were to lose, I think it then goes back into Southampton's hands, doesn't it? 2 wins will get them over with 6 points.
Just watch the team sheet.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
today's big. A point or anything today is a huge result.
Yeah.
3 points, then it's, it just takes the pressure off for the next 2 games, and it's set up really well. And QPR at home, last game of the season. What a great occasion that could be.
Yeah, and it's coming off the back of another away midweek game at Charlton. We're away today. We're away in Southampton as well. So it's quite a tough ask for the players as well to not have those home comforts of the Portman Road crowd till the final day of the season. But sometimes as players, is playing away sometimes not pressure off, but you've got your core supporters in the corner, and we know Town fans will travel today as well. But if those 3 games were at home and it wasn't quite going, you'd have the whole crowd on top of you, and it just might make a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, as a former player, you love playing away at home if you're on the top of the table.
Yeah.
But if you're down there, it's always going to be one of those. Oh yeah, but the boys been brilliant all season. Away from home and at home also. To think we lost 1 game at home, if I can remember, all season. But that just shows the mentality of the players, and obviously that stems from the head, obviously McKenna and his coaching staff. And then the fans, when the boys come out to the warm-up, they see the fans in the stadium just waiting to, support them from start to finish.
Bar the first 40 seconds of the game against Charlton, do you expect Town to come out with that same positiveness in the attacking thirds and looking after the ball, like we've seen Town throughout the whole season, dominating the possession, but maybe having a bit more of that killer instinct against a team that don't concede many in West Brom?
Yeah, I think it's the only way that we do play, really. I'd be very, very surprised if Kieran changes, what he does. I think since he's come here, he's been on the front foot as a manager, and I don't see that changing today at all, really. I think it's, we need 3 points today, and it's as simple as that. Let's go and attack, go and get them. I think we're a better team, better squad. We really shouldn't be fearing them too much.
And that would really send a message to Southampton. We were chatting off air, Scully, win today, and that does take a lot of the pressures off of the game on Tuesday night. Something that the players won't think about, but once they get over the line, if they do today, that is something that they can look at and take another positive step towards what is going to be a very busy end of the season.
Yeah, the boys, and they know what to expect, playing against West Brom. And I know they're going to be very professional going out there and trying to get the 3 points. I mean, you can't win the game, or you win the game from the first minute. But at the same time, on the flip side, you can't lose it.
Yeah,
but we just have to be really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, 3 points today would do the double over West Bromwich Albion. I'm sure all of the boys are up for it today. So let's take a look at the Ipswich Town starting lineup, taking on the Baggies at the Hawthorns. Kieran McKenna makes 2 changes to the side that beat Charlton in midweek on Wednesday, with Cedric Kipre coming back in to take on his former side, and top goal scorer Jack Clark coming into the starting 11. Christian Walton starts in goal for the Blues, with Darnell Furlong, Dara O'Shea, Cedric Kipre and Jacob Greaves from the defence. Ivan Athon leads the line, Scully, ahead of George Hurst going into this one. Those two have been sort of battling out for that spot. Friendly competition is always good in football, but Ivan gets the nod today. Is that something that you saw?
Not really. I think he started at Charlton, didn't he? So I was expecting George to come in today. The reasons behind that, I don't know. Personally, I would probably just go with George if it was down to me. But there's not too many changes really. So I think he's going in with the team that got the 3 points on Wednesday. That the squad is really strong. You look at the bench. We've got a very, very talented bench there. So that's, I think, been a major, major strength this year. There's so many games where we've won it from the bench. So over to these lads, see what they can do, and if it's, I'm sure, 0-0 or not a positive result halfway through the second half, then we've got some great additions coming off.
Football is very much a team game. You mentioned there how Ivan and George have sort of been flip-flopping, one in, one out. You sort of expect. How would you have dealt with that as a striker? I know every striker wants to play every minute of every game, but would you understand the process behind it?
Well, it's a little bit different when I play because it played with a 2. Yeah, exactly. So there was.
So if you weren't starting, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. You're the midfield player playing up front, and you knew your time was up. Really, I think it's modern day football. You have to do that, and I think. you know, if you're a centre-back and you're on the bench, you probably know you're not going to get on. A midfield player, you've probably got a 50-50 chance. But as a centre-forward, you probably know you're going to get on. Yeah. And you can make a positive impact as well. You can sometimes be, you know, coming on for the last 25 minutes, 30 minutes can actually be the best thing to do.
Carlos, Darnell Furlong, who has been a fantastic player throughout, you know, gives you a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance week in, week out. As a former defender yourself, what have you liked about his game and the way he's made that right back position his own?
Yeah, you know, one thing, he's very aggressive. He does, you know, he challenges, he gets up, heads, he goes forward, and you know, he's what you actually need to stabilise, you know, the back four, the back three, whatever, however he plays. And he is one of the modern day fullbacks. You know, sometimes he maybe doesn't get on as much as he would like to, as Leaf does. But at the same time, he is so defensive minded that he pick and chooses when he can go forward, and that's a good attribute to have, because you don't want to be running back towards your goal ever so often. Leaf
missed the game in midweek with a slight injury. We hope it's not serious. We've been told I don't think it is too serious, but it's not enough for him to get in the lineup today or make the match day squad. Jacob Greaves will be pushed out to that left back position. Just how they're very different fullbacks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned there, Carlos, Leaf likes to bomb on, but when Jacob's come in, and whether it's a centre half, fullback, he's been really solid. But I suppose he brings us another aerial threat if set pieces are going to be key today.
I was going to say that. So if you look at the height we have in the team now with, you know, Jacob Greaves, Kipre, Dario Shea, and Casey McAteer is 6 foot as well. You know, as on, there's very, very good height. You know, if we get the set plays right, you know, we're a tall team today. Yeah.
How would you go about marking those players, Carlos, if you were playing back in the day when you're in a corner box and there's 6'4", 6'3" players standing in your way?
You just got to make sure that you know 9 out of 10 times you're not going to win a header or whatever it is, but you just got to make it very uncomfortable for them to not get a perfect header on that. Just go big for big, you know. You go for the smaller one, you know, that way. But yeah, you just got to make sure that you don't make it too easy for the attacking players to get onto those set pieces as easy and comfortable for them.
Pick your battles, Carlos, that's what I'd say. Right, let's have a look at the Ipswich Town substitutes. A notable name on there is the return of Wes Burns, who had been sidelined with a calf injury. Again, we've spoken about the depth we've got there, but having an experienced player like Wes to come off the bench as well. Casey McAteer's had a fantastic last few weeks, last month of the season as well. But Wes is someone who has been there, done it, and got the experience and can be a real handful from the bench as well, Scully.
Yeah, definitely. I think Wes is, you know, part of the DNA of this football club, isn't he? And, you know, the manager trusts him, really. I think he gives us width when he comes on. He's slightly different to the rest of us, but he's very, very, never really let the team down. And I think the journey the manager's been on, sort of Wes has been here the sort of similar period of time, really. So I think he's trusted sort of ally that if he doesn't start, you know, he's definitely on the bench.
We have won a lot of games from the bench, and I just look at that now and I see Jaden Philogene as well coming off the bench, and he's been producing magic for this football club. And, you know, we've got Jack Clark starting as our top goal scorer, and he's found himself on the bench. Where do you see, I mean, Scully sort of mentioned it there, if you're an attacker in that bench, you're probably going to come on and get some minutes at some point. It's normally around the 60-minute mark, depending on how the game's going. That. But Jaden and Marcelino Nunez are those players that can have a real impact from the bench as well.
You know what, you relish the chance. As much as you would love to start every game, which I wanted to start, and we knew at some point you wouldn't. I know those guys will be chopping to bits to get on at some point in the game, regardless if we're winning and drawing. Those guys it's got a lot of game changer there on that bench, and you know, it's a headache for McKenna because he's going to be picking and choosing now. Who should I put on now? And it's, you know, after 60 minutes or so, but it's a good headache.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good headache to have, and just want to highlight Ben Johnson as well. He's, you know, been in and out of the squad for various different reasons. He's so versatile. I guess that's what we've got in this squad as well, Sco, isn't it? The versatility that players can go and play in so many different positions.
Yeah, there is. You know, if you look at even the bench as well, you know, they can Jayden Philogene can play on either side. Jens Kandus can play as a holding midfield, attacking midfield. You've got options everywhere. So, it's good. It's good, really. I think injuries have been quite kind to us this season. You read some clubs have sort of had 10, 12 injuries out, so that's credit to the medical staff. Obviously done a wonderful job throughout the season. And it also helps, sharing the minutes out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very strong lineup for Town with plenty of options from the bench. As for the visitors, we can get the lowdown on West Brom thanks to our lead commentator, Glenn Wheeler.
Thank you very much, Curly. Well, James Morrison, who has done an excellent job since taking interim charge at the end of February, makes just the one change to the 11 that started the 3-0 win against Watford on Tuesday, as the Baggies go in search of the 1 point they require to guarantee their championship survival. Defensive stability has been the hallmark of West Brom's improvement in recent weeks, and Max O'Leary, who has kept a clean sheet in each of his last 4, starts behind the back 4 of Danny Imre, George Campbell, Nat Phillips and Callum Stiles, which remains unchanged for the 4th game in succession. With Jed Wallace still out through injury, Alex Mowatt continues to wear the captain's armband in central midfield, where he'll be joined by Mali international Usman Diakite. And the sole alteration comes in attack as top scorer Ona Hegeba comes in for Josh Madger to partner Daryl DK. DK has scored 2 goals this season, and they've come in West Brom's last 2 games. Meanwhile, amongst the substitutes, there are places for former Chelsea defender Alfie Gilchrist, the experienced Charlie Taylor, and Carlin Grant, who is not yet ready to start after returning from a hamstring injury.
Brilliant work as always, Glenn. Now, before I let you go and get on with the commentary, we had a brief chat earlier. The end of season awards is just around the corner, coming up very soon. So I just want to get your 3 nominations of who you think should be up for Player of the Season. And then we'll see in the chat if Town fans want to comment and get involved and see who they would pick from your 3.
It's a tough question you posed, Curly, because there have been some outstanding individuals throughout the course of the season. For me, I think Azor Matasiwa in midfield has been brilliant and really offered that combat needed in the Championship. Jack Clark, of course, with his goals as well, and his goals to minute ratio must be very impressive indeed. And then the third one is a tough one. Darnell Furlong has very quietly gone about his business at right back, but has been ever so consistent. But Darrow O'Shea has really led from the front and stepped up in recent weeks as well. So tough for that third spot.
Well, that's 4 you've given us, so we'll allow it. While we work out who we're going to pick, we can now hear from Ivan Athon. He's been speaking to Town TV's Howard Bloom.
Ivan, we're here at the Hawthorns. How are you feeling for the game today?
Really well. Really excited for the game. We won the win, and we want to celebrate the win with our fans.
What's the preparation been like? Obviously, a bit of a quick turnaround for this one.
Yeah, of course, every game is tough, and coming away from home, every game is more difficult. But we are here to win and stay a bit closer to the promotion.
And a really good win against Charlton last time. How do we keep that momentum going today?
Yeah, we want to keep the hard work, keep the work inside the pitch, and I think with everything we can win it.
And what do you expect to be the key areas during the 90 minutes?
Well, as I told you, work hard, be a team, stay close to each other, and try to score as early as we can, and of course try to win.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Ivan Athon leads the line for Ipswich Town this afternoon away at West Bromwich Albion. Right before we go, lads, you heard it there from Glenn. Who would you pick as your Player of the Season from the 4 names that he gave us in the end?
Can I give a 5th?
You can give a 5th.
Walton.
Christian Walton,
yeah,
been brilliant.
But obviously he should be in a nominee, But I will go for Matasiwa.
Matasiwa, Scully?
Yeah, I think it's difficult not to go with him, really. I think he's had a really good, solid season. And I think that bite in the Championship that you need, that physical, that kind of discipline that he adds, protecting the back line as well. I think he's done it very well.
Fantastic. And finally, just a score prediction today. Carlos, I'll come to you first.
I'll say 2-1.
2-1?
Town, yeah.
I think it'd be very close. I think it'd be a close game. I'll go 2-1 as well.
Right, we have had a few calls as well from O'Shea and Jack Clark from the fans on the social media. Right, definitely keep them coming in and do that on X and all the social platforms that we've got here on Town TV. Right, the game is fast approaching. £10 match passes are available for international supporters in selected regions. The commentators, as always, the brilliant Ian Westlake and Glenn Wheeler. We are back here for Matchday Live at Portman Road on Tuesday as we travel to St Mary's. Southampton are our next target. Right, big thanks to Scoey and Carlos. It is always a pleasure to sit alongside you guys, and to you, the fans, of course, and our digital partners, Fleximize. Come on, you Blues, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just lending passion and enthusiasm.
Let's get ready to rumble! One thing I do know how to do is win fights. Hey yo! This is my time, that's my redemption story. First round